Welcome to CNN Presents. I'm Willow Bay. A new year, a renewed sense of confidence. With the Taliban defeated and the leaders of Al-Qaeda on the run, Americans are looking to enjoy life again. They're beginning to go out, entertain, even travel again. But Americans do so in the shadow of an ongoing nationwide terrorist alert. There is an enemy within, and behind the scenes of everyday American life, the FBI and other agencies are at war. Over the next hour, the domestic front in the war on terror. We begin with CNN's Mike Betcher and the hunt for those ticking time bombs known as sleeper cells.
Kabul, November 2001. Chaos and confusion in the midst of a rapid Taliban collapse. In a pile of documents left behind during a hurried Al-Qaeda retreat, a green book, notes of a student terrorist.
To work in the cities, you need small, separate groups whose members do not exceed 4. It's preferable that these members be from the cities because moving in the cities, you need individuals who are accustomed to this type of life because cities are loaded with government spies. The government is alert in many cities because most of its business, its people, fortune, and communications are concentrated there. These represent the heart of the government.
They are among us. They are in our cities, dormant, living normal lives, waiting for extraordinary orders. They are sleeper cells, and they are here. The FBI has already opened at least 150 investigations of individuals and groups suspected sleepers. Viet Dinh is with the U.S. Justice Department.
We know for a fact that Al-Qaeda uses sleeper cells. Terrorists do not come dressed in a T-shirt that says, "I am a terrorist."
Steve Pomerantz, who once headed the FBI's counterterrorism section, knows the frustration of trying to find these hidden terrorists.
By their very nature, when we talk about sleeper cells, we're talking about people who have infiltrated surreptitiously, who are attempting to blend in, who are evading detection to the best way they can.
Some may have been in our midst for years. Others are still on their way. Several high-level intelligence sources, some part of the anti-terror coalition, and others who once served the Taliban, reveal a recent example of how these sleeper agents mobilize, then disappear in our midst. They tell CNN that in the confusing days of mid-September, about 250 Al-Qaeda terrorists slipped from the chaos of Afghanistan and made their way to an unidentified Indian Ocean island off the coast of Africa. From there, they went their separate ways. Some went west, others traveled east. They were not running away. They were on their way to a mission, suspect intelligence sources. But where, in what countries, and for what purpose? Nobody knows, and rarely does anyone find out.
The first and clearly most important element in dealing with these sleeper cells is to get intelligence information that they exist, and who, at least one name that you can, some place you can start to focus to investigate them.
A chance arrest at a U.S. border crossing gave investigators one place to start, an opening into the underground world of sleepers. In December 1999, Ahmed Rassam, an Algerian member of Al-Qaeda, was apprehended in Port Angeles, Washington, as he tried to drive a carload of explosives from Canada into the United States. An alert U.S. Customs agent became suspicious, and he was arrested. Rassam was convicted of attempted terrorism. His target, Los Angeles International Airport during Millennium celebrations. A classic sleeper, he was trained in Afghanistan, then sent to Canada to wait for the time of his planned attack. Rassam talked, a lot. Coalition intelligence sources say he provided information that led to the arrest of other sleepers in Spain, Italy, the United Kingdom, and Germany, but not in the United States. And more than a year and a half later, 19 other sleepers succeeded where Rassam had failed. From the Center for the Prevention of Terrorism at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, Professor Magnus Ransdorp has closely followed the phenomenon of sleepers.
It is a virtual nightmare to unearth and to detect all those constituent individuals, when we don't have a dossier of many of these individuals, because one of the things that Western and US intelligence did in the 1990s was to take their eye off the ball on these.
But what is being thrown at the United States is terrorism's version of a curveball, hard to follow as it approaches the target. Sleepers who look as we do, dress as we do, act as we do, and in secret, hate what we do. Al-Qaeda manuals describe the tactic, a simple lesson in blending in.
Have a general appearance that does not indicate Islamic orientation. Avoid visiting famous Islamic places like mosques, libraries, Islamic fairs, etc. Avoid seclusion and isolation from the population.
The most radical of terrorist movements allow themselves to take the tactic to the extreme. Known as takfir, they are allowed to deviate from strict Muslim practices. Drinking, drug-taking, and womanizing are permitted in the name of their terrorist mission and their ultimate goal, purification of Islam. Jean-Louis Bruguière, a French magistrate responsible for investigating, arresting, and prosecuting terrorists, believes sleepers who adhere to takfir are the most dangerous of all.
They are generally who could have good-looking tie, jacket, and so, and some of them have the right, if it's necessary, to drink alcoholic beverage. They don't go to mosque. They don't have Islamic relationship in order to hide themselves.
When you speak of takfir, the description you give seems to match the description of the actions of Muhammad Atta that U.S. authorities say.
Yes.
Do you think he subscribed to takfir?
Maybe.
Out there, in our midst, U.S. investigators are convinced there are other Muhammad Attas, blending in, fitting in, sleepers waiting for an order, waiting to be awakened. In that pile of papers left behind in a classroom in Kabul, a terrorist's chilling to-do list, things to buy before a long sleep.
A personal weapon and get a permit for it. A new picture. 2 new suits. And some good black shoes.